Most people laugh when you bring up XLM hitting $1. They'll throw out all the usual arguments. The market cap would be too high, Stellar doesn't have enough hype, or it's just another forgotten project. But here's the hard truth. It's never been about hype. It's about math. It's about real-world infrastructure. It's about adoption, and Stellar is quietly stacking all three, while most of the crypto space is distracted by shiny new narratives. While the market chases the next meme coin or tries to jump on every fleeting AI trend, Stellar's doing something different. It's building real, scalable financial rails that institutions are actually lining up to use. Smart contracts? Soroban is live and growing, offering a robust ecosystem for developers and users alike. Real-world DeFi? That's already being executed with Palago Labs, bringing tangible use cases to the network right now, not just in some far-off future. Stablecoin infrastructure? You bet. It's in the works and gaining traction as more financial institutions realize how Stellar's tech can revolutionize stablecoin issuance and integration. Cross-border payments? Not just a buzzword. Stellar has been at the forefront of this for years, with major players already using its network to move money across borders faster, cheaper, and more securely than traditional systems ever could. And all of this is happening with XLM still under 25 cents. Now, let that sink in for a moment. While everyone else is caught up in volatility and short-term trends, Stellar is silently laying the groundwork for real, sustainable growth, and it's doing it with a project that's still undervalued. So in this video, we're not just talking speculation. We're diving into why a $1 XLM isn't some far-fetched moonboy dream. It's a legitimate target, backed by real numbers, solid tokenomics, and institutional momentum that's already in motion and only getting stronger. If you're holding XLM, thinking of buying, or just wondering if it's time to start paying attention, stick around. Because once you break down the actual data, $1 won't just be possible. It'll start to look conservative. Let's get into it. Market cap math. What $1 XLM really means. Let's strip away the noise and focus on the raw numbers for a second. XLM is currently trading around 22 cents, with a circulating supply of roughly 28 billion tokens. So what would a $1 price tag really look like? Let's break it down. Simple math. $1 XLM equals $28 billion market cap. Now, stop for a second and ask yourself, does that sound crazy? If you think about it for even a minute, the answer is no, not at all. Let's put this into perspective. Dogecoin, a meme coin with absolutely no real utility, hit an $80 billion market cap at its peak. Shiba Inu, a project built on pure hype and speculation, surpassed $40 billion at one point. Solana, despite facing serious downtime issues and a rocky history, is still trading above $70 billion today. And here's the kicker, Stellar is out here doing real business. It's not just a concept. It's already moving cross-border payments at scale, launching smart contracts with Soroban, and powering institutional-grade DeFi through Palago Labs. This isn't some promise of future utility. It's happening now. So, when you ask if a $28 billion market cap for XLM is even feasible, think again. It's not some out-of-reach moonshot. It's a logical next step, especially if adoption continues to grow and the market shifts into a risk-on phase. Now, consider what's coming when the next alt season kicks off. The market tends to focus on speculative projects, but what happens when it finally wakes up to the ones that have real-world utility? That's when the explosive growth happens. And $1 XLM? That's just scratching the surface. If the momentum continues, and XLM keeps picking up real institutional traction, the $1 mark will start to look conservative. And as more institutional players continue to join the network, driving demand for the token, we could see it climb even higher. So, don't let anyone tell you a $1 XLM is some far-off fantasy. It's a target backed by tangible utility and adoption, and when the market starts to recognize what Stellar has been quietly building, the real fireworks will begin. Tokenomics that actually work. Let's talk tokenomics, because this is the exact point where most altcoins crumble. See, XLM isn't built to inflate forever. In fact, Stellar removed its inflation mechanism back in 2019, and that's huge. Why? Because it means no hidden emissions, no surprise dilution, and no constant sell pressure from newly minted tokens flooding the market. What you see is what you get. Right now, the circulating supply of XLM sits just above 28 billion, and here's the kicker. There's no more scheduled increase. No shadow inflation. No massive VC unlock dumps. Just a stable, known supply, and that is a game changer. Now, let's compare that to the tokenomics of some other projects. Ethereum, with its burn mechanism, still sees its supply fluctuate based on network activity. If the network is congested, more ETH is burned, but there's always the possibility of inflation creeping back in. Solana operates on an inflationary model, where 5 to 8% annual issuance is the norm. That means every year, the supply increases, diluting the value of the token unless demand outpaces it significantly. But Stellar's fixed supply model is clean, is predictable, and that's a massive advantage when it comes to price potential. Because here's the kicker, when demand increases, and we're talking about institutional partnerships, real-world asset tokenization, and smart contract use cases with Soroban, there's no infinite supply to absorb that demand. That's the magic formula for a supply crunch, and it's exactly what drives those explosive parabolic moves in the crypto market. Limited supply and high demand is a classic recipe for price spikes. The simple economics. Fixed supply plus growing demand equals higher price. And Stellar isn't just set up for quick hype spikes. No, the tokenomics are designed to scale sustainably, which positions XLM for long-term growth, not just a pump-and-dump cycle that plagues so many other projects. With Stellar's predictable and clean tokenomics, the fundamentals are aligned for real growth. So while others may rely on hype and constant emissions to fuel their price action, XLM's supply structure is ready to stand the test of time, ensuring that when demand comes knocking, there's no cap on the potential for price appreciation. This isn't some short-term pump-and-dump fantasy. Stellar's tokenomics are built for long-term value. And that's why XLM has one of the most solid foundations in all of crypto. Adoption metrics that actually matter. Let's cut through the noise for a minute. A lot of coins like to talk about adoption, but when you dig deeper, it's usually a lot of inflated numbers, bots creating fake activity, or hype-driven wallet spikes that don't actually mean anything. Stellar? Completely different. Behind all the noise, real-world usage is happening, measurable, trackable, and steadily growing. We're talking about over 10 million active accounts, with steady on-chain activity that isn't just coming from retail investors, but also from enterprise and institutional partners. Real businesses with real needs transacting on the network. When we talk about real adoption, we're not referring to random wallets being created or some temporary trend. We're talking about actual businesses building on Stellar. MoneyGram? Leveraging Stellar to facilitate global payments in real time. This isn't some future plan, it's already happening. And MoneyGram isn't exactly a startup. We're talking about one of the most recognized names in remittances. Circle? Testing USDC on Stellar to enable faster settlement times, lower costs, and ultimately improve the efficiency of digital dollar transactions. This is institutional-grade adoption. Palago Labs? Rolling out tokenized trade finance to connect logistics, capital markets, and smart contracts in ways that Ethereum still can't match on speed and cost. Stellar's Soroban smart contracts are powering this, and it's doing it in real time at scale. This isn't just people clicking buttons on wallets. This is businesses transacting, liquidity flowing, and use cases going live. Real activity is happening, and that's what truly drives adoption. And now, with Soroban smart contracts adding a whole new layer of programmability to the network, that adoption is only going to accelerate. We're talking about enterprise-level applications that are only getting started, and Stellar is uniquely positioned to scale in a way others simply can't. The market hasn't fully caught on to these metrics yet, but when it does, that's when things will shift. XLM won't be trading under $1 anymore. When real adoption like this takes off, it always gets priced in eventually. And right now, the market is still underestimating the sheer scale and depth of Stellar's institutional and enterprise growth. But once that gap closes, the price trajectory won't just be based on speculation. It will be driven by fundamentals. And those fundamentals, they're stronger than ever. Why $1 isn't just possible. It's inevitable. Let's break it down with the numbers. Right now, Stellar's market cap is sitting around $6 billion. If XLM hits $1 per token, that would put the market cap just above $28 billion. Now hold up, let's put that into perspective. Compare that to other Layer 1 blockchains with similar or even less real-world adoption. Solana hit $70 billion at its peak. Cardano reached $90 billion. Dogecoin, yes, Dogecoin, a meme coin with zero utility, surpassed $80 billion. And yet here's the thing, Stellar is actually solving real problems. It's not just a token that people hope will moon. It's tackling issues in payments, settlement, tokenized trade finance, and offering smart contracts designed for scalability. And that's not even scratching the surface. Institutional-grade integrations are already in place, with real businesses adopting the technology. So from a market cap standpoint, $1 is far from crazy. It's actually conservative when you take into account adoption, reach, and utility. But here's where it gets real. If Stellar becomes the go-to chain for compliant DeFi and cross-border transactions, and that's exactly where it's positioning itself, then $1 isn't the top, it's just the floor. We're not talking about another meme-driven pump or influencer-driven hype. We're talking about financial infrastructure that banks, fintech companies, and businesses can plug into. That's long-term demand, long-term volume, and long-term price revaluation. So no, $1 XLM isn't just wishful thinking. It's not some hopium-fueled fantasy. It's basic math. Why $1 isn't just possible? It's inevitable. Let's break it down with the numbers. Right now, Stellar's market cap is sitting around $6 billion. If XLM hits $1 per token, that would put the market cap just above $28 billion. Now hold up, let's put that into perspective. Compare that to other Layer 1 blockchains with similar or even less real-world adoption. Solana hit $70 billion at its peak. Cardano reached $90 billion. Dogecoin, yes, Dogecoin, a meme coin with zero utility, surpassed $80 billion. And yet here's the thing, Stellar is actually solving real problems. It's not just a token that people hope will moon. It's tackling issues in payments, settlement, tokenized trade finance, and offering smart contracts designed for scalability. And that's not even scratching the surface. Institutional-grade integrations are already in place, with real businesses adopting the technology. So from a market cap standpoint, $1 is far from crazy. It's actually conservative when you take into account adoption, reach, and utility. But here's where it gets real. If Stellar becomes the go-to chain for compliant DeFi and cross-border transactions, and that's exactly where it's positioning itself, then $1 isn't the top, it's just the floor. We're not talking about another meme-driven pump or influencer-driven hype. We're talking about financial infrastructure that banks, fintech companies, and businesses can plug into. That's long-term demand, long-term volume, and long-term price revaluation. So no, $1 XLM isn't just wishful thinking. It's not some hopium-fueled fantasy. It's basic math. The catalyst that could send XLM exploding past $1. So what's actually going to drive XLM past the $1 mark? It won't be random hype or influencers shouting on Twitter. It's going to come from real, measurable catalysts that are already in motion. 1. Institutional adoption going live. We're way past testnets or experimental pilot programs at this point. These are live, deployed projects. Palago Labs is actively rolling out real-world DeFi on Stellar. USDC is natively issued on Stellar, adding more liquidity and utility to the network. MoneyGram has already integrated Stellar, enabling seamless on/off ramps for global payments. These aren't concepts. These are live applications. And every single transaction made on the network requires XLM. As more institutions tap into Stellar's infrastructure, demand builds. And that demand isn't passive, it actively pushes the price higher. 2. Soroban smart contracts scaling up. Soroban isn't just another smart contract platform. It's designed for speed, efficiency, and most importantly, real-world business applications. As more developers start building on Stellar, we're going to see an ecosystem expansion that mirrors the explosive growth of Ethereum and Solana in previous cycles. But here's the key difference. Stellar doesn't suffer from congestion or sky-high gas fees like Ethereum does. That's a huge edge in terms of scalability and real-world use, especially for businesses that need a cost-effective, fast solution. 3. Market sentiment flip. Most people still think of XLM as that old payments coin that's been hanging around for years. But the market is starting to wake up to what Stellar has been quietly building. And when the sentiment around a fundamentally strong project shifts, that's when we see explosive growth. XLM has the tech, the partnerships, and now it's finally catching the narrative shift. As more people start to realize what Stellar has achieved and what it's poised to achieve, it will set off the next leg of the rally. 4. A real altcoin season. Let's talk about the next alt season. If the market catches fire the way it has in past cycles, we already know what happens. In a full-blown alt season, coins with real-world use cases don't just double in price. They go 5x, 10x, or more. With XLM still trading under 25 cents, hitting $1 in that environment isn't some moonshot dream. It's actually historically consistent with what we've seen in previous cycles. So, when the market shifts from speculation to utility-driven growth, the price revaluation won't just be possible, it'll be inevitable. And with all the foundational pieces in place, $1 for XLM isn't just a wish, it's an eventuality. The market is waking up. The catalysts are already in motion. And when that perfect storm hits, Stellar won't just get to $1. It'll leave it in the dust. The truth about $1 XLM. Let's be clear, a $1 XLM isn't crazy. In fact, it's a logical milestone, and here's why. If Stellar continues on this current path, rolling out scalable smart contracts, onboarding real institutional use cases, and expanding its DeFi ecosystem, the $1 mark won't just be achievable, it will be inevitable. Here's the reality. Price follows utility. It always has. It always will. And right now, Stellar has never been more useful, more integrated, or more ready to scale. We're talking about a real infrastructure project that isn't just sitting on the sidelines, waiting for the next meme coin craze to pump its value. Stellar is out there solving actual problems in global payments, tokenized trade finance, and DeFi infrastructure. Smart contracts, already live with Soroban, and scaling up faster than most people realize. Stellar isn't just a wait-and-see project anymore. It's already integrated into institutional and enterprise-level operations. MoneyGram using Stellar for global payments. USDC being issued natively on Stellar to solve settlement delays. Palago Labs integrating tokenized trade finance to bridge logistics and capital markets. This is real-world adoption happening at scale. Not a testnet, not a white paper promise, actual businesses transacting, solving problems, and driving demand for XLM. And here's the kicker. This is just the beginning. As more institutions realize the potential of Stellar's infrastructure, with Soroban enabling programmable financial contracts and DeFi innovations like Palago Labs, the network's utility will continue to grow. And as that utility expands, so does the demand for XLM. It's not hype driving this momentum, it's math, metrics, and momentum. Let's break it down. Fixed supply. XLM has no surprise inflation mechanisms. This is a fixed supply model that ensures growing demand will drive up the price, not counteract it with endless token issuance. Real-world use cases. Stellar is already deeply integrated into institutional systems, with businesses already transacting on its blockchain. Every time a transaction occurs, there's XLM moving through the network, creating real demand for the token. Growing ecosystem. With Soroban enabling more sophisticated use cases and DeFi applications coming online, Stellar is poised to continue expanding its ecosystem, further cementing its place in the future of financial infrastructure. So no, $1 isn't a fantasy. It's a logical target based on what Stellar has already achieved and the massive potential it has to scale even further. The market hasn't fully priced this in yet, but when it does, that's when we'll see real value reflected in the price. The truth is simple. Stellar isn't riding on speculation. It's building something that's fundamentally valuable, and as that value becomes more apparent, the price will follow. And $1 XLM? That's just the start. The question isn't if XLM can hit $1. It's when. And will you be ready before it happens? If you've been sleeping on XLM, now's the time to wake up. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Because here at Be Crypto Smart, we don't chase trends, we stay 10 steps ahead of them.